Good morning, good afternoon and good evening to you all wherever you are in the world. My name is Nick Ferrand and these are my Italian one-take property tours. Now, today we are talking about €1 houses. Yes, we are. And that is a €1 house. And you might be noticing something about this house. Yes, you're right. It's got nothing in the middle. Absolutely nothing in the middle. And I think that this is a really good tour today. And I'm going to just discuss with you why you would buy a €1 house. What are the benefits of buying a €1 house? And why would you not buy something with a higher price where you can get exactly what you want, encompassing all the things that you need to do when you buy a €1 house. Now, let's talk about buying €1 houses. The majority of those houses are in southern Italy, and the majority of those are in the mountains and quite a long way away from other larger towns or the seaside. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. And I salute all those mayors and anybody who has decided to buy a €1 property. However, it's not just a case of buying a €1 property. I know, for instance, that your real estate company is not going to take 3% of €1. Now, first of all, you really are not going to negotiate on your €1 property and offer 80 cents or something. I also know that the notary, who is the official body in Italy who can make the transfer of the deeds of your €1 property, will not be doing it for a couple of euros either. So I would estimate that to buy a €1 house in southern Italy is probably going to cost you 7, 8, 9, 10,000 euros, depending on what you want to buy or depending on what you do buy. Now, that is just the beginning, because after that point, you will need to get an architect or a surveyor, which is a geometer, and you will also need to employ a builder, and you will need to employ an electrician, and you will need to employ a plumber, because I have seen people who have come to Italy with a bucket and spade and have purchased €1 houses, and unfortunately you do need to get somebody who is going to be a registered professional in those fields who will sign off for you, because you will not be able to do your electricity, you will not be able to do your plumbing, and you would not be able to do any structural alteration or the roof by yourself without actually getting it done by a professional. And that's just the way it is. You can choose your kitchens, you choose your bathrooms, you can decide where your loo's going to go, you can do all those things, and the paint and the colour and the flooring and everything else and all the external kind of beauty that you want to place on this property. But the hardcore groundwork needs to be done by somebody, and you will need to employ them on a contract. Also, once you've done all those things, you will need to submit, or once you've actually organised all these people to come and work for you, you will need to submit a planning application to the local municipality in the planning department, and they will charge you, how can I put this, a fee to grant you permission so you can build the house. I am in today a place called Città Castello, which is on the border of Tuscany and Umbria. I'm in Umbria today, and this street was built 800 years ago, as well as these houses. And I am in the Centro Storico, which is basically the old town, and it's restricted parking. And just a stone's throw around, if you turn right, you will end up in the main square of Città Castello, and they always have things going on in the summer, and it is a working town, so there's always something to do, there's always restaurants open. And I will tell you right now that on Saturday, the third Saturday of each month, there is a fantastic antiques fair, which you will find me at. Today's property is owned by an Italian, and he purchased this property for a family member, and it is no longer needed. Now, if you want to skip to the end of the video and see the listing price of this property, by all means do. Now, I will tell you that if you have a €1 property, and just for a rule of thumb, you are going to be spending €1,000 a square metre to restore your property. Now, if you want beautiful reclaimed terracotta tiling, beautiful bathrooms and a tip-top kitchen, that price is probably going to extend to about €1,500. So to restore a derelict building, which that is what you're buying for €1, to a beautiful, habitable condition in the 21st century with insulation and everything else, you are going to be spending €1,500 a square metre, and so 100 square metres is going to cost you €150,000. Now, you see, you're beginning to understand. Now, there isn't a catch. Don't get me wrong. I think the people who are doing this, and the local communities and the mayors and everybody else that's involved in regenerating these areas, are just absolutely fantastic. And I really, think it's a great thing to do. This property fits into that category without being a €1 property. We are in a great location. And as I always say, and it's not my saying, location, location, location. It's going to work out in the end because the project is already ready, which is going to save you about 9 months and ready to go. So the only thing which you need to do right now is purchase this property with the planning in situ and get the builders on site. Are you ready to see it? Let's go. Now, as I mentioned, I'm in a street which is 800 years old, and I have a beautiful palazzo at the end of the street, and I'm only a stone's throw away from the main town. And as I pull round the gimbal, because I'm giving you the reverse, little cars coming down the road now. It's a little Fiat. Do you know what Fiat stands for? Fix it again, Tony. No, sorry, I love Fiats. I've had a couple in my life as well. Now look, let me just pull up and show you this. Now that's what we're looking at today. Isn't that cute? I mean, it really is. It's just a beautiful day today. Look at the sky. Now this property has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. As I mentioned, that there has already been an application which has been made with an engineer, and that has cost €9,000 to get. Now the other interesting thing about this property is that it has a little garage, and you won't be able to get a car in there, but you will be able to get a scooter, your little Vespa, to tour around the town. Now, let's pop in. And there's quite a step going up, quite a large step. And I think we're going to go, where are we going to go first? I think we're going to go into the cantina first. So let's just pop into the cantina and I will show you that. Now, as I mentioned, that there is a possibility that you can get a scooter, well, you can get more than that. You can get 2 or 3 motorbikes in here. I don't know whether you could get a Fiat 500 in here, one of the old ones if you are a resident. And did you know that you cannot buy a car in Italy unless you're a resident? It's a very interesting point. A lot of people have asked me that. Now I've got a little light because the electricity is not on. And it's quite a big space, to be honest with you. And as we walk through, we are going to go back out into a courtyard. Now this building is facing east-west, and it is very interesting because it's got windows on both sides. Quite a lot of the buildings only have windows on one side. Now it's basically just a little terraced cottage. That's what it is. But if you wanted to take this corrugated fiberglass roof off, you will have a really fantastic space. Now I'm just going to get in here because history, and I adore history. And if I look, look at this. It's like a work of art. Look, and somebody's left their glasses there, which they've pinned up, and washers and all kinds of other really interesting stuff and electrics. But what I do love is that if I come down here, and I'm going to show you this because I think it's really fantastic, that is in steel, and that is a steel workshop, and you've got a vice in at the end of it, and this just there is probably, I don't know how old that is, 1940s, 1950s, and that is a lathe. It's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now, if I come round here, this, I mean, yes, I know you're looking at it, but you know, if you go and have a look at these €1 houses, it will be in exactly the same condition. Nothing will be different. There will be this amount of work to do. Now, let's get in and get, basically, because I want to show you, as I said, I've got a little light on, and I want to show you, yeah, here we go. Let's see if I can get it. Now, just at the bottom here on the right hand side, that you've got your gas boiler, and here is a wet room, and it's got a sink, toilet and bidet in. Now, upstairs you've got 2 bedrooms and another bathroom, and I'm not sure, I would just have that as a laundry room. It is another space for you to use, but hey ho, you know, it's part of the property. Look, you can see now, it's quite a big space. I personally think, you would get a Fiat 500, one of those classic 500s. I really do. I think that would just fit in there. You won't be able to both get out if there was 2 people in it, but certainly one would. One would. Okay, so that is the garage space. And the project was to actually insulate the ceiling and to keep the house nice and toasty. Now, off we go. We're going up the stairs. Stone stairs going up, and then you come up to the first floor living area. Now, first thing, if I walk into here, I can see, I come down, I can see the original terracotta flooring. Now that's been painted with a red oxide, and you really need to scrape that off. And then if we come back up and I show you going up, you have a barrel vaulted ceiling, and that could be sandblasted. Yes, it could. And then here you've got a little cupboard, which, if I'm not mistaken, and we go and have a look at that key, that was built in the 1950s. And then here, going out, you've got a little terraced area with houses which are very close together to one another. And if I pull up and I'm on my little terrace, I can see basically the other houses and this beautiful blue sky. Now we are February and the sun is still quite low in the sky, but I expect in the summer months, as this is facing east, you're going to get a considerable amount of light directly shining into this room. Now this building is 75 square meters in total, and I want you to look at the wall on the right hand side now as we come to the door, because if I just pull just the gimbal around and then just lift down. Those are the stairs which I originally came from, up until the small landing. And the project is to remove this wall which is right in front of me, that one there, and make this, which is the kitchen, one great big open plan kitchen stroke reception room. Now there are lots of nice old, depending on your point of view, 70s tiles and 70s knickknacks, but what there is, which I think is great, is a chimney, and I've spoken to the owner and he said that does actually work. Now, for regulations nowadays, if you wanted to put a wood burning stove or to use that as an open fire, you will need to have a flue inserted in it, but there shouldn't really be a problem. Now you have a sink, and I really do, you know, it's like I do love the 70s period of style, and I really do like those taps. Yeah, I do. I like them. I even like the tiles. And then if we come back and I would give you the return, I try to do that slowly. Now, as a small terrace house in a medieval town, there is quite a lot of light. Now you see the orange light going down. If you can imagine that wall being taken out, then you will have a really lovely open plan, lofty space. I think that's great. A little table at the back, sofa at the end. Yeah, really lovely. Right, now going up, we are on the second floor. As we come up, as I said, I've turned on my trusty little light because there is no electricity connected to this house at this moment in time. Now this is bedroom one, and it has a very big wardrobe in it. I would probably take that out and have some additional storage somehow, probably on the wall to my left, and I can see another built-in cupboard which is above. Now again, if you wanted to, you could quite easily sandblast the ceiling and bring back the original terracotta flooring, ceiling tiles. Right, pulling around. Again, if I'm looking down at the flooring, I'm just going to get down if I can and show you that. These are really beautiful original tiles. I'm not quite sure when this building was built, but I expect it was built in the 15th, 16th century. Another storage cupboard behind the door. I quite like that actually. I think I probably want to keep that and paint it. This property would make just the perfect Airbnb for somebody who wanted to rent it out. Now, on the landing here, you have a bathroom and a toilet, no bidet, and a shower at the end. These pretty funky tiles. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go. I'm going to see you because Stefano, the owner, who's a really nice chap, I spoke to him and he basically said, look, the plan is, I don't know whether you can see this because
you think I'm looking on the outside, but I'm not. I see if I can get the gimbal around. Can you just, if I move it around a bit, can you see at the corner just there that you can see the roof line with the original beams? Now his project was actually to take this ceiling out in the bedroom, which we're going to get to in a minute, and then he was going to actually have it into the eaves. A great 60s bathroom lamp. Isn't that great? Love that. Yeah. I'll probably want to change that balustrade because that was put in at a later stage. And it's in steel and wood. And then basically this room, which is the second bedroom, and this has interesting wallpaper. 2 windows, as I said to you, that is facing west. And this is the ceiling that the project, for the project, which was to actually take the ceiling down. And so you'll have a really high ceiling in here, looking up to the original roof line. Cupboard in the corner. Yeah, 75 square meters of unrestored Italian property. All right, let's get down, and I've got quite a lot of information which I'm going to share with you. I always carry a bench with me. Right. 75 square meters, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, a garage, which I think is absolutely fantastic. You can park a motorbike in there, or a couple of bikes, or your scooter, your Vespa, and enjoy Italian life. It has a little balcony at the back. What's nice about this property is that it's facing east and west. So this is west this way, that's east that way. And so you're going to get morning light and afternoon light. And I think that's just great. There's been a bank valuation. That means that somebody has come for the bank and given a valuation, and that valuation is 58,000 euros. This house is on the market for 60,000 euros, and it's trattabile, which means that he will accept an offer. Now, the project, which has already been submitted and ready to go, has cost him 9,000 euros. So let's say, and the project cost, which has been submitted, is 60,000 euros. Now that doesn't include reclaimed beautiful flooring, or it doesn't include a 20,000 euro kitchen. You know, so I mean, you're going to have to put the price up if you want to actually put those items in. However, let's say that you bought this house today for 55,000 and then you spent 60,000 on it. If I'm not mistaken, that would make 115,000 euros for 75 square meters in the center of the most beautiful town. And if anybody knows Città Castello, you will agree with me. And if you do come here in the summer, the 3rd Wednesday of each month, there is a fab antiques market, and you will find me here. My name is Nick Ferrand, and these are my Italian one-take property tours for all of you who have subscribed to this channel. And we are now at 76,000 subscribers. I really can't thank you enough. It's just, you know, without you, I wouldn't be doing this. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, and we are trying to get to the magic number of 100,000 subscribers, would you be so kind and just push those buttons, and that would help me so I can help you. Next week, I'm going to Lecce in Puglia, a place where I absolutely adore. We're going to tour a couple of houses, and then I'm going to see if I've got enough time. I'm going to just drive up and do something in Ostuni. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.